Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and I know it's been a while since I've made a um, YouTube video. I've been doing a couple live videos on Facebook, and I've done a couple of radio shows since I've done a YouTube video. But I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to this video. This video is going to be dealing with a lot of things that I am going through right now. And as I know myself to be part of a collective, I know that I'm not alone in going through what I'm going through, what my body is physically feeling, what I'm spiritually feeling. And I want to share that with my beloveds, my reflections, with others who are looking to understand themselves a little bit more or needing a little bit of validation, needing a little bit of support, needing a little bit of comfort. A lot of times we don't have um, that in our um, foundation or our framework because as indigos or star seeds or rebels, we come here as loners. We are solitary until we find our pack, until we find our soulmates, until we find our cluster, our group, our core connection, family, so to speak. And if you see smoke, that's coming from incense. I'm not smoking a cigar this time. And for those of you who saw the pictures of me smoking that cigar, that's ceremonial, that's ritualistic. I also do it for grounding purposes. So when you see me smoking, know what it's about. It's not just, oh, she's smoking. Okay, getting past that. I want to speak on some things that are happening um, in the United States, first of all, and that's with this president that we have in office, that we have manifested, that we have co created, that we have put in place in order to teach us how to resolve what we need to resolve. We needed harder lessons, we created it. We put it in place. Mama made sure our will is manifesting. It is time for us to evolve. It is time for us to look at the facts. It is time for us to look at the truth. It is time for us to stop being in denial. It is time for us to stop disassociating from the truth of things, no matter what feelings arise from that truth. We've got to dig that truth up. We've got to unbury it. We've got to set it free and just let it do what it do. The truth doesn't need you to defend it. It can defend itself. It will defend itself. Um, it is time for the truth. Another thing that um, I wanted to speak on was that there is no more veil between the ego and the God self. There is no more veil there, beloveds, which means you now have complete access to the seen and the unseen realms and those guides and those individuals that are there to aid and help you. But you need to call upon them. You have to um, you have to ask for help. You have to want it. You have to call it. Excuse me, I'm messing with this because I want it to be right. There we go. Um, you have to call forth your your change. You have to ask for it. You have to activate it with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your voice. and you open it up that way. It's like a key that you turn, and it unlocks a whole different, a deeper reality. I'll put it that way for you to immerse yourself in. And beloveds, there is such a um, what I want to call a deepness right now to the process of feeling and sorting things out, that it is consuming, and it just it makes you tired. I've been so tired lately, and I look at my metabolism is already um on the low end, so I have to do things to kind of get that energy going for myself. But lately, everything has just been tiring me out. And a lot of it has to do with the mental integration and the spiritual integration. A lot of times we don't realize how much thinking and overthinking, how much energy that uses from a human being, from that perspective of biology, just of your nerves and your everything secreting and everything. And if you're like me, an empath, very sensitive to just about everything, every thought, every feeling, everything, and you have to learn to really ground yourself, and you have to learn how to separate what's yours, identify what's yours, and what's coming at you from your collective. And that is becoming more clear for me. It's becoming a lot more clear, in how I'm starting to identify and address um, certain resentments, certain feelings that have been buried for forever. And I'm realizing that these resentments were generational. They have been passed on. Um, and I have passed them on to my children, you know, and they have passed them on to theirs. And it's time to pull back some of this energy and clear it and heal it and bring light to it and to own it and to take the shame and the blame and the victimizations and all of that way of knowing and understanding the self out of the equation. It is time to put the God self into the equation. It is time to allow that God. I'm looking. Video isn't moving. Um, okay. I'll just keep going. Hopefully it's recording right. Um, that's another thing. Time has been, I'll say, warping for me. It's been jumping ahead and jumping back, and deja vus have been whew, just it's like being in an ocean and the waves just having their way with you, just knocking you whichever way they want, and you're like, okay, breathe until the next wave comes, and it's this is what it feels like for me right now, beloveds. But um, I'm battling it through, and I'm finding the beauty in the process. I'm finding the strength in the process, and I'm a fighter. So I'm gonna get knocked down. That's law of probability. But you better believe I'm going to get back up each and every time. And this is a getting up for me. And it may be slower than um, previous times, but it is what it is. And it is getting up and it is moving forward and it is ascending it is climbing that ladder of self-knowledge, of higher self. Um, Again, I want to get back to the resentment that is coming through from the world right now. And beloved, that resentment is global. That spirit of resentment has infected us. It is like a virus. It has really infected us. And we are very contagious because we do things that evoke more of the feeling of wow. mm, it just went straight out of my head. And I keep wanting to call the feeling remorse. And I don't know why that remorse and regret and resentment are all woven together like a braid. It's the three of them: regret, remorse, and resentment. And I can't seem to tear the three apart. They always want to. When I say one, the other words are always there. The other definitions are always there. The other feelings are always there. So I'm no longer going to try to delineate them. They, for me, represent a strand, um, like a DNA strand: remorse, regret, resentment. These are the three things that we're dealing with, and it's appearing as one. And when you have the resentment, your spiritual nature feels remorse. It feels regret, that you feel resentful. It's a sadness. It's a it's a disconnect from the spirit. It's a choice. And we have been making this choice, whether consciously, unconsciously, or subconsciously. And we have got to become aware of our own processes when it comes to our resentments, our remorse, and our regrets. We need to address them a lot more. And beloved, that is what is coming up in in the world right now, globally. We're dealing with the resentments, the remorse, and the regrets of everything that has taken place upon this earth for however many times it has existed. The energy and the essence of it is still here. And like I said, now that the veil is gone, for those of us who are sensitive, there is a feeling, oh my God, of waiting for the shoe to drop. And it's 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 so deep because for me there's no frame of reference for this right now. I'm tapping. I've been going through my Akashic records. I've been speaking with my guides. They have just been like, "Mom, on this." It's like, okay, Valerie, you've got to figure this one out for yourself. You've got to, you've got to do this one. You're on your own with this one. And so I'm like, damn, I don't want to be on with this one. This one is deep, and so I'm having to, like I said, I'm using more of my gifts to figure things out. And that's a longer process than what I had hoped it to be. But it is what it is, and I'm riding with it. And I don't want this to be long and drawn out, beloveds. I'm still going to do a blog talk show on remorse, regret, and resentment. When I say resentment, understand those other words are going to be right there as well, because they're synonymous with it and they are integrated, and they won't allow me to approach this without them. So it is what it is. I want to get into some tarot reading now. I want to um, just have Mama speak on some different things, and I'll let her do it the way she wants to. I'm going to start it off with a message from the animal spirit guides, and I use this messages from the animal spirit guides oracle cards by Stephen D. Farmer. Okay, and I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to ask for a message and a messenger to help us deal with remorse, regret, and resentment. Um, so, Mama, if you could send forth one of your beloved guides, one of your beloved children, one of the very wise ones, those that existed before. Okay, this card popped out. I'm going to use it. And this card is the Condor, beloveds. And this goes back to my what I call Mexican Indian heritage. So it's bringing up stuff. Let me show you. I can tell you about the colors. I can tell you about the sky. There are multi dimensions that condor is flying through. There are a lot of elements present here. There's earth, there's fire, there's water, there is wind and air, and all of that. I'm also seeing mantling with the arms spread, and that's trusting the wind currents to carry you. That's leaping forward, that's gliding. Um, and that's trusting what's there, and trusting the outcome, and trusting your ability. You're too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And that is so true, beloveds, because I have been, like I said, overthinking things and not over, I don't want to use the word overanalyzing. That's not in my vocabulary, because I stay in my head a lot, and my head is connected to my heart. So there's no disconnect there. So it's a free flow. I know what my ego is doing versus my spiritual heart is doing. So the voices are very distinct for me. So, right on point. Another thing that I'm hearing from this is the situation with Trump, and how we are so enmeshed in the distractions of the details that we're missing what the sleight of hand is doing, while we're so caught up in the game and the playing of the game and the players of the game. We're missing the sleight of hand, most of us. Those of us who are aware of the sleight of hand are putting things in place, manifesting, getting stronger, growing, evolving, ascending, reaching different states within ourselves so that we can help humanity when the time comes, and that time is approaching. The bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And I'm going to give you straight what Spirit is giving me. understand that there's a spiritual war going on. So no matter what you see the human beings doing, no matter what you see taking place, this is about a spiritual war. This is about the right to rule. This is about your sovereignty, your ability to control your own evolution without the duality, without the considerations of the good and bad that have been programmed into us. See, we've got to get outside of that good and bad stuff now. We've got to know. It's no longer about, well, you know what's right and you know what's wrong. Do the right thing. No one should have to tell you this. As we rise, as we evolve, as we start making our way, crawling up that evolutionary tree, we grow wings and we no longer need certain things and we have to let those things go. And the letting go is the understanding of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that you are a divine being becoming divine, more and more divine. And the more divine you become, the more blessed you are and the more you're able to bless and to serve. And I want you to understand this is a download that I received. And that download was God created us, Source created us, the Great Spirit created us so that we could be sovereign beings, so that we could be gods, and that we could create our own societies, and that we could create and give birth to our own worlds, our own universes, and our own galaxies, and seed them. But we have to have the right inner working and inner standing of our highest self. We have got to have reached that point. That is, you've got to reach that point. And you've also got to know that there will always be those who will lag behind in reaching that point. And it's simply their choice, their fears. They can't get past them. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to help them. And that's the hurting part for me. And I resent that. And I have to work on that resentment because that resentment is in direct conflict with my relationship and with my faith and with a lot of other things that I want to do. And I have to understand that it is my resentment of how things are progressing and the way things are that are really kind of got me stymied. And one of the things I want to say about that too, and then I'll get back to the card, is, beloveds, we have, in entering a spiritual war, you've got to know who you are. There are going to be entities, there are going to be beings, there are going to be persons, there are going to be events, there are going to be situations that are going to test your ass. Okay? I mean, they're going to test the hell out of you. From the bottom to the top. And this is why you need to know yourself. Because no matter the situation, you need to be able to rise above it, not sink with it. So know yourself. Develop who you are. Develop a sense of who you are. Develop your reality for your being. It's your body, it's your soul, it's your essence, it's your expression. Don't worry about what nobody else thinks, says, does, whether they accept it, whether they understand it or understand it. Master it because it's about you. Condor. Okay. You're too immersed in this situation to step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And beloveds, I also would ask that you Google the condor, because as a spirit animal, as a spirit totem, as condor medicine, condor spirit animal. There we go. Okay. Condor, page 39, which is 12, which is a 3. And beloveds, that 12 has been coming up, as well as 40 has been coming up for me a lot. That 40 acres and a mule thing, and 40 years, with Moses and them wandering. That has a lot, that 40, that's been coming up a lot lately too. 40 is also 4, so 4 directions and all of that. So there's a lot there, beloveds. Condor, you've lost perspective here because you either believe there's something that you absolutely need to have happen, or else you're simply being too stubborn to let go. Whew! Okay. Step back and take a fresh look at your circumstances. It's the forest versus the trees dilemma. You're too close to clearly discern the reality of what's taking place. So, make a practice of detachment. I've known I need to work with detachment. Most people think of this as a cold, sterile way of responding to a situation or person, but nothing is farther from the truth. It's far worse to remain so utterly involved and entangled that you lose perspective, and sometimes even yourself. This all too familiar pattern stems from the guilty feeling, remorse, regret, resentment, from the guilty feeling that somehow you're not doing enough unless you completely immerse yourself into the problem or person, continually trying to fix the situation or rescue the individual involved. While this may give you a temporary sense of satisfaction, doing so also creates unhealthy dependency, yours and others. So, beloveds, like I said, I see us as a core, as a collective. I see us as reflections of each other. This is so very personal to me. Um, like I said when I began this video, we are solitary beings, but we are also part of a collective. And there's no more denying the connection between your individual self and your collective selves. And that is playing out in so many different ways. And you need to be aware of it. You need to be aware of the multiple cells, the collective cells that reside within you and that reside around you. Um, that's part of the veil too. That's part of realizing that, and knowing that that's within you, that God and that ego, and that's what's separating, because they cannot be one. They are at constant war with each other. um One wants to tear down, the ego wants to tear down, and the spirit, middle finger, the spirit wants to build up. So it is what it is. Okay, let me keep going. True detachment is objective compassion. True detachment is objective compassion. Wow. Objective compassion. I'm going to have to sit with that one because that is just ringing all kind of bells within me. Objective compassion. Okay. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay. I can accept that. I can deal with that. A state of mind and heart where you still care very much but are distanced enough so that you're not under the illusion that you can somehow control the situation or person through your participation or intervention. Wow. In any situation or conversation, follow these 4 simple guidelines. First, be 100% present and attentive. Second, speak your truth or maintain a dignified silence. And beloveds, woo! Speak your peace or maintain a dignified silence. That just that's woo. If you are in a place where you know your truth cannot, will not, shall not be heard, be received, be accepted, don't throw your pearls to swines, baby. Keep a dignified silence. That means you don't have to jump in nobody's face. You ain't got to jump up and down. You ain't got to do backflips. You ain't got to prove yourself. You don't have to validate anything you say. You don't have to fight for the truth. Just allow it to be what it is. And just let it do its thing. And it will. Okay. Third, keep the focus on what's really important and what really matters. That means keep bringing it back. When they get off subject, bring it back. Bring it back. Yep. All of that's nice and good. Now let's come back to the point. Let's come back to the point. The point is, the focus is, the reason is, the bottom line is. Fourth, let go of any attachment to outcome. And beloveds, that means that you're trusting in mama's wisdom of giving all free will. And you're trusting in the flow. And you're exercising faith. Trust in the unseen and the unknown. And that is required of us. And the more we're able to do that, the more we're able to connect with that and develop a spiritual instinct and a spiritual intuition. Excuse me. um and those are very important tools. Those are tools that we need. Those are tools that we need to incorporate. Those are tools that we need to teach to others to use. These 4 steps will help you keep your perspective while remaining compassionately involved and detached at the same time. You still wield your influence by stating your preferences, whether strong or mild, without insisting on getting your own way. And that's a big one for me because I'm just going to put it out there. I consider myself to be wild. I'm not tame. There's no taming me. I am, how can I say, the best way I can say this is my mother couldn't tame me. And ain't nobody else, okay? And I have to rein myself in. I'm learning, Valerie, you're not caging yourself by doing this. You're allowing yourself to expand. You're allowing yourself to grow. There are parts of me that are like, mm-mm. And I have to be like, look, you other parts need this, so stop being the selfish little brat and let it unfold. Let it happen, you know. And and so it's about taking inventory, beloveds. It's about really getting in touch with yourself and really being honest with yourself and establishing dominance with yourself. That's self mastery. And that's what we're all aiming for. That's the top bottom line. That's the focus of it all. Okay. You can still wield your influence by stating your preferences, whether strong or mild, without insisting on getting your own way. Express yourself and see what happens. All the while honoring and respecting others. Associations of the condor. Perspective. Vision, awareness, death, rebirth, independence, solitude, inspiration, creativity, leadership, Pachamama, Mother Earth, simplicity, sensitivity, and detoxification. And that was the message from the animal spirits, beloveds. The condor came forth to bless us with this information. Um, May we use it. May we take it in our hearts. May we grow from it. May it seed us with what it needs to seed us with. Okay, that was that card. I'm going to pull three from the vortex. Getting into the vortex. This is Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks. And these I love this deck because it's so pretty, first of all. And I'm just gonna show you. And this card was right there. Okay, Mama, all right. I can focus on what I do want in a relationship. Resentment. Mm. By focusing upon the wanted characteristics of those around you, you train your vibrational offering to match only the best in them. And then the law of attractions can no longer match you up with the worst in them. When you focus upon the worst of them and train your vibrational offering to match only the worst in them, the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the best of them. Boom. Okay, my mind is blown with that one. I'm not even. In all my other readings, the cards have been saying, be careful of what you want and of giving more power to what you don't want. And here we go. When you focus upon the worst of them and train your vibrational offerings to match only the worst in them, the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the best in them. Beloveds, this is the global stuff too that we're going through. This is the big picture of what we're going through. This is not just us in our little everyday relationships, romances or crushes or whatever. This goes to life that we're living right now. And again, the law of attraction keeps coming up. Law of attraction keeps coming up in several readings now. It has. And if you don't know what the law of attraction is, please Google it, beloveds. Empower yourself with the knowledge. How can you use these laws to raise your consciousness and better your circumstances if you choose not to even know them? That's a decision, too. You choose not to know. You choose to stay impoverished. You choose not to want your circumstances to change because the law of attraction only allows you to attract what you're focusing on. So if you're focusing on nothing is going to change, I'm only surviving, I've got to make it to the next paycheck, I've got to do this, I've got to the next this, the next that, if this happens, then that happens. You're exhausting yourself and you're not taking advantage of universal laws that are there for you, for your sovereignty. Okay, I'm going to now shuffle that. That one was just there, and it was, oh, the cards are so pretty. Oh, look, and that one was like, okay, me, and so I'm like, okay, and that's how that card got there. Okay, so okay, here's another one that jumped out. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Beloveds, do you see that? Can you see that? I love those doves, their hands. And one is white and one is black, or one is light and one is shadow. And the trees and the roots and the birds are like bringing the roots up to the branches and they're touching them. And this is such a deep card, beloveds. This is such a deep card. Also, this mound that the tree is, that is a downward triangle to me. So that this is such feminine spiritual energy. Um, so Mama is really talking to us, and this again is the law of attraction, beloveds. And it says, by default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Many of the relationships or experiences you have attracted, you would not have deliberately attracted if you had been doing it on purpose. But much of your attraction is not done by deliberate intent, but rather by default. It is important to understand that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. And chronic thoughts about unwanted things invite or ask for matching experiences. The law of attraction makes it so. So our ignorance of that law and how to use it and how to use it effectively for our benefit and for the benefit of our collective has been lost. And we have to reconnect with that, with the laws of attraction, with the universal laws. But the law of attraction keeps coming up, beloveds, because it is it is necessary right now, for our growth, for our evolution right now. And we would not deliberately attract what we're going through on purpose. But because we're so focused on trying to avoid it, we're creating it. Do you get that? And Mama says that is where the resentment comes from. The resentment isn't about her. The resentment is because we are doing this to ourselves, and the higher selves is aware of this. And the emotion that comes through as a symptom to let us know that we're unbalanced in this is the resentment. And we have to identify the resentments and understand that by focusing on the resentments and keeping them in the box of resentments, we are expanding that box. We are making that box of resentment magical. We're making it manifest all kinds of things. It creates its own world, and the more it creates, the more we resent. The more it creates, the more we resent. The more it creates, the more we resent. And we have got to break that cycle. We have got to stop being resentful of what we have created or what we have allowed by not knowing the universal laws. Powerful, 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 powerful. Chronic thoughts about unwanted things invite or ask for matching experiences. That's like, I remember back in the day, um, when I was clubbing and me and my girls, and we would go out and we would stick together like a little pack and watch our drinks, watch our purses, do this and do that and do this, and we had our rules. And it was watch so and so, or watch this or watch that, or this is going to happen and that is, I know this is going to happen. I know it is. And no sooner than you get there and the night is progressing, what you said jumps right off. And you're like, I knew it. And you resent it. And you have regrets over it. And you have remorse over it. But you attracted it. The law of attract, you are God. You attracted it. You caused it by chronic thinking on it. By you invited it. You said, universe, I need this. And the universe says, okay. You said, universe, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to step on a piece of glass. I don't want to step on a piece of glass. I don't want to step on a piece of glass. I don't want to step on a piece of glass. I don't want to step on. What do you wind up doing? You wind up stepping on a piece of glass. Wow. We are so powerful, beloveds. And that is why, um, the ancients told us, know yourself. Know yourself. Those three little words is so powerful. There's so much wisdom in that. Okay. And this will be the last card from this deck. Thank you, Mama. Everything is always working out for me. And this card is just so beautiful. It shows you the connections, and it's 55, which is 10, which is 1. I'm just going to show you. I love that she's looking into the outer space. I love that where she's looking is causing circles. I love that her head is connected but not connected and goes around almost in that spiral there, the Fibonacci spiral There's just so much there, beloveds. Let's get to it. Everything is always working out for me. Nothing ever goes wrong because every piece of contrast, no matter how wrong it seems to be, is always helping you to clarify what it is you do want. I'm going to read that again because, beloveds, Mama is giving us whew, gold here. Nothing ever goes wrong because every piece of contrast, no matter how wrong it seems to be, is always helping you to clarify what it is you want to do. So, beloveds, the storm is the clarification, helps you figure out what you want to do. It gives rise to the crisis. It gives rise to the biodynamics of adrenaline, getting you ready to do something, to charge into action, to get you going. And we are so programmed into thinking good and bad, light and shadow, dark and light. Oh, that's dark. That's negative. I, no, no. What this card is saying is that you need that contrast to help you see clearly. That is powerful, beloveds. Do not resent the shadow. Do not resent the pain. Whoa. Whoa. Do not resent the pain. Do not resent the pain because the pain is a symptom to show you it is a contrast, to show you that you are unbalanced. And if all you can do is concentrate on the pain and getting rid of the pain and the pain and the pain and the pain, law of attraction, what are you doing? We have got so much to relearn, to reabsorb, to to get straight, to align again within ourselves with how we interact with our own abilities and our own powers and our own strengths and our own weaknesses. And it is always, always being the victim. I can't. Uh, no, that's too much. Uh, You are a child of God. Stop denying yourself. Law of attraction. All you have to do is start believing in yourself. And beloveds, that's very hard for a lot of us. Because since infancy, we have been programmed and told, and events and circumstances and traumas and everything has taught us that we are nothing, that we are worthless, that we are ugly, that we are stupid, that we are lazy, that we ain't worth nothing because of the color of our skin or the texture of our hair or whether we have hair or not, the color of our eyes, whether we have the latest fashion on or fashion trend or the latest gadget. All of that gives us our sense of worth instead of our God self giving us our sense of worth and our sense of wealth. And we have got to start working on that. And it's coming. I feel it. But it's the battle that you've got to get through. And you've got to face it. And the fear of yourself on the other side of that. That's who you want to see. That's who you want to know. That's who you want to give birth to. You say she's a goddess? Let's see. This is where we're going. And I'm so psyched. But there are parts of me that are like, no, 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 you know, and they don't want to grow. They don't want to let go of the pain because that's all they know, and they know how to manage the pain. They know how to deal with it, and they're used to it. But what is life without pain? What is it without that contrast? That's what we have to cultivate within ourselves. I'm a curious person. That is how I'm programming myself. And it is a process. And I have to be gentle with myself in this process because people in situations will come along, and even if they are not communicating it 100%, the empath in me feels all this stuff, and it builds my reality and builds my understanding upon what's there. What's my foundation? Resentment, regret, remorse. So I'm study building upon these things. This is the foundation. And by the law of attraction, this is what I'm going to keep attracting. So I'm like a dog chasing its tail. And to logically, intelligently realize this and to realize, okay, I've got to stop. I've got to master myself. I've got to catch myself. I've got to reprogram and repattern myself. And the way to do this is to observe myself, is to see the truth in what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And to tell myself the truth on why I no longer need to do that. Okay. So this is very, very powerful. Nothing ever goes wrong because every piece of contrast, no matter how wrong it seems to be, is always helping you to clarify what it is you do want. And this is the thing that we want you to remember most of all. The contrast, no matter how it looks in any moment, is contributing mightily to your expansion. So one of the ways to diminish remorse, regret, resentment is to be patient and is to be gentle with yourself and understand that it's okay to fall down and it's okay to sit there for a minute, but give yourself a time limit, you know that you're going to sit and think about it and then get up and have a course of action planned. The things that you call things going wrong in your life experience are actually only the distance between the things that are so right and your current perspective about them. And that's that card. And beloveds, I'm going to do one from the Isis Oracle deck. And then that's going to end this video. I always use this deck, so I want to clean it because, like I said, I stay in this deck. I want to ask Mama again for a very direct message on dealing, okay, this one. Dealing and working with, this card jumped out, beloveds. So this is going to be all our cards jumped out today. Healing the divine masculine, Osiris rises. There we go. I love these cards. I love these cards. That is so powerful. That is so beautiful. I love how he has this, Osiris has that crook and flail, baby, and he's walking and he's getting ready to use them, you know, and it's like, okay, that's some good energy right there. Healing the divine masculine. Let's see. Page 71, which is an 8, which is Mama's number. 71. Okay. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. All kind of thoughts I just, okay. Bringing myself back, focusing and grounding, focusing and grounding, focusing and grounding. Okay. Healing the divine masculine, Osiris rises. The divine masculine, this is, I gotta fix this, sorry. It's getting on my nerves. Sorry. There we go, I guess. No. It is what it is. Okay. The divine masculine within men and women is the energy that allows for protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding, even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. When the masculine within us is healthy and strong, we have an inner strength to hold ourselves safe through anything. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in his ability to offer you inner protection and stability so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. How powerful is that? How powerful is that, beloveds? That is powerful. Gosh. I've got to read that again because it's just so powerful. It's so deep. This is the androgynous also. This is the three coming into oneness. This is the unification. This is the alignment of the masculine and the feminine. This is the combination that creates the divine golden child within. So this is exciting to me. Let me ground. The divine masculine within men and women is the energy that allows for protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding, even though the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. Apply this to what is going on in the world right now, beloveds. When the masculine within us is healthy and strong, we have an inner strength to hold ourselves safe through anything. Okay, what flashed was Donald Trump is representing our inner masculine state right now. Donald Trump and Putin. and being at war with our higher selves and with our God selves in our self-mastery. And that old patriarchy wants to stay and rule. You know, it wants to stay first and foremost in our conscious awareness of ourselves. And this is what Donald Trump represents. in this reality at this time. So when you are able to look at something and see it, you get a little bit more from it, from that um, point of view. Okay, let me keep going forward with this. This is so irking me. Mm, okay. It's still irking the mess out of me. Okay, I gotta stop fixing and focusing on that. Okay. The inner masculine and inner feminine need each other. When they are in good inner relationship with us, we feel like healthy, whole human beings. We are able to live as ourselves in the world in a relatively peaceful, creative, and enjoyable way. When there is damage to the inner masculine, there is difficulty in standing up for our truths and knowing what our truths and values are, and in knowing how to protect them without feeling as though we have to fight constantly just to be allowed to be ourselves. We might also feel that unless others see things as we do, we have no power, and then have to fight to dominate others, manipulating them to our point of view. The inner masculine part of us often needs healing so that he can fulfill his divine purpose of inner strength, protection, and honoring of the self in all of its uniqueness, so that we can live as free, strong individuals that know who they are and are happy to just love and be that person and allow others to do the same. And beloveds, what I was um, getting with that was I was seeing Isis and Osiris in the relationship that um, that they have, and understanding why she is the throne, and understanding why what her relationship was to him and what his relationship was to her. He was her masculine self in flesh. He was that part of her, and she was the feminine aspect of himself. And beloveds, that is so that is so beautiful, because that understanding that inner masculine, if you look at Osiris and you don't want to take Osiris, if you don't want to take the Egyptian pantheon as being literal gods and goddesses, actual beings or entities, you want to look at it as being essences or cosmic influences, or however, what way you want to look at that or use that frame of reference that works for you, is to understand the separate expressions of the spirit, the masculine and the feminine, and how that duality, everything is the duality, the splitting. And we have to integrate everything back together now. And that's the purpose. That's the way. That's where we're headed. That's the focus, on integrating, on uniting, on allowing for the connections. Okay. This will happen at any time. He is asked to hold even more consciousness, to hold permission and strength to be even more of the unique self. The masculine and feminine within us need to be in balance with each other. There is no point having a powerful feminine with unique values and strong creative force without an equally strong masculine energy that is able to act upon these unique values, no matter what others may think, to take action to allow the creative force of the inner feminine to flow into form in the physical world. And I hope that didn't go over your heads. I hope that didn't go over your heads. And I'm going to read it again. There's no point having going over my head, okay? There is no point having a powerful feminine with unique values and strong creative force without an equally strong masculine energy that is able to act upon those unique values, no matter what others may think, and take action to the creative forces um, of the inner feminine to flow into form in the physical world. When your inner feminine is growing and desires to express her uniqueness in the world more boldly than ever before, the inner masculine needs to grow in self belief, self worth, and self confidence so that he may take action to allow the blossoming feminine to truly be in the world while feeling secure and safe. I hope. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Amen. This oracle indicates your feminine self is blooming, and your masculine needs to be able to protect and honor her. Sometimes, just as Isis looked for Osiris to help put him back together when he was torn apart by hatred, fear, and jealousy of his dark brother Set, our feminine needs to help the masculine to heal so he in turn can help her. Your masculine consciousness can be healed and grow stronger through his relationship to the inner feminine within you by adjusting and healing our own views of masculine energy so that our feminine is no longer willing to experience masculine energy as violent, aggressive, unfeeling, or controlling. A healing shift begins. And beloveds, I just want to say this. we This is not about relationship with someone else. This is not about you and a man. This is about you and your inner male. This is about your male consciousness, your male will, that male strength, that male determination, that maleness, that swag that's in you, that causes you to square off. It's that, and it's within all of us. We are both masculine and feminine. God is both. We are children of God, so of course we are both as well, beloveds. And in mastering ourselves means we cannot empower one side of ourselves and reject the other side, or feel spiteful against the masculine, or resent the masculine aspect of ourselves. And that is a big, huge part of our evolutionary path, beloveds, is in allowing um, the integration, the uplifting, the honoring of both the masculine and the feminine within us. And it takes time, and it really takes you to know yourself, and to understand your thought processes, and how you um, not only express yourself, but the things that you want to attract, the relationships you want to attract, the situations you want to attract, the goals, the foundations, what you want to build upon, what you truly love, what you truly want to invest in more, what you truly want to experience more. Um, and you have to allow those sides of you to get together and to mate, and create that child, that thought, that creation, give it birth. You have to be pregnant with it. You have to conceive it. You have to conceptualize it. And we have to really start looking at ourselves as, where am I coming from? Is this my feminine essence that is asserting itself, or is this my masculine essence? Do I need to bring the masculine back a little bit and let the feminine step forth a little bit more? You need to learn to adjust these forces within yourself, these powers, these abilities that are yours. That's part of um, knowing yourself, beloveds. Okay. This oracle indicates your feminine self is blooming and your masculine needs to be able to protect and honor her. Sometimes, just as Isis looked for Osiris to help put him back together when he was torn apart by hatred, fear, and jealousy of his dark brother Set, our feminine needs to help the masculine to heal so he in turn can help her. And beloved, this is what is taking place. Black Panther just pop through, and you look at all those women who influenced T'Challa, the Black Panther. You look at all of that feminine energy that helped nurture and help develop that masculine energy in him, and also the feminine energy in him, where he respected, protected, and responded to that feminine energy the way he did, be it sister, mother, or lover. And that's a beautiful thing, beloved. Okay. Your masculine consciousness can be healed and grow stronger through his relationship to the inner feminine within you, by adjusting and healing our own views of masculine energy, so that our feminine is no longer willing to experience masculine energy as violent, aggressive, unfeeling, or controlling. A healing shift begins. And this is so resonating in me. It's like pinging because of my past, my history, molestation, rape, so forth and so on. There is a resentment of the masculine energy within me. There is. There's no getting around that. And I know I can come off sometimes as being manly, we'll put it that way, because there are aspects of me that feminine had been repressed, and the feminine couldn't get through. So she had to sit in the back seat, and I had to let that masculine aspect of myself step forward. And when that masculine alpha presence would assert her herself, baby, all kinds of hell would break loose. All kind of hell would break loose. And there would be all kind of resentment from the males because of my feminine, masculine essence asserting itself. And so there was resentment all over the place. And that resentment lingers. And it you have to weed it out. You have to weed it out. And that's what this show is about. That's what this cards are about, because again, beloveds, we're all connected. This isn't just about me. Even though it's like slapping me all upside my head, but you know, we're not alone. And like I said, I have been so sleepy, so tired, and all of these things, and I'm integrating, beloveds. I'm integrating. I'm in alignment with the flow and the flux of the universe. And I'm gaining the knowledge that I need to do what I need to do. Okay. And I'm sharing it. The divine inner feminine can then choose to relate to the divine inner masculine in a way to hold a different vision and different beliefs of who he is, what he can do, and what his purpose might be. The inner feminine gives birth to the Pharaoh. The inner feminine is the kingmaker, not the masculine, not the patriarchal. She might choose to experience him as tender, protective, strong, discerning, and stabilizing energy. That's what we need right now. What this looks like in our life experience is a change in how we are within ourselves and with others, and how we move and live and experience the world. We have more of a willingness to be kind to ourselves, to honor our feelings, and to not be bullied into stepping away from our truths by others or even by our own self doubt or self criticism. It is an inner commitment to love and honor the self and an inner trust in this commitment. So when the feelings arise to try something new creatively or spiritually, for example, there's trust that this will be respected and acted upon, and it is. When the healing of this relationship begins to occur within us, our outer relationships also change and flow into healthier expression. We begin to feel safe, protected, and strong enough to take risks and live a bold, expressive, truthful, and creative life with more energy and passion. And I'm being told to say this: behind every good man is a strong woman. Behind every good man is a strong woman. When the healing of this relationship begins to occur within us, our outer relationships also change and flow into healthier expressions. We begin to feel safe, protected, and strong enough to take risks and live a bold, expressive, truthful, and creative life with more energy and passion. The oracle guides you to realize that your inner masculine could benefit from some restoration and healing after being ravaged by expectations that in order to be acceptable, he should never feel anything, that he should always be dominant, and that only the most violent and aggressive alpha masculine behaviors are to be respected. If you are already working on this aspect of your own healing, you are encouraged by this oracle that it is working and to stay with your process. You are encouraged to empower your masculine energy, seeing it as a tender, protective, containing, strong, and aware. You are also encouraged to continually choose to let go of behaviors that cast the masculine as perpetrator or as dominating. And I'm going to have to work on that because that is one of my things. And it doesn't make a man weak if he is not strutting and so alpha. You know, we have this notion of bad boys and thugs and so forth. And we've been conditioned that they have an edge or they have an advantage or they are more attractive to us. And beloveds, you have to get to a state of mind where you want peace and where peace is the most beautiful thing in the world to you. And when you're at that place, you are able to look and attract men who are aware of the feminine aspects of themselves, who are working on balancing those aspects, who are able to see you as a representation of the divine goddess, of the aspect of within themselves. And this is how we have to start looking first at ourselves and then outwards at others. And it's a big step. It's a big step, but it's worth it if, again, the laws of attraction, beloveds, use them, use them. Know yourself. Use your inner feminine courage, trust. Use your inner feminine courage, trust, and determination to avoid casting the masculine by castrating. Use your inner feminine courage, trust, and determination to avoid castrating the masculine by considering it weak, useless, or unnecessary. For healing to happen for both masculine and feminine, we must be prepared to let go of feelings of victimization, domination, disappointment, and dissatisfaction, and do the sometimes challenging inner work of learning to relate to masculine and feminine energy with a completely different approach. This can be enough to set healing in motion. It takes persistence, determination, patience, and application for the damaged masculine within us and outside of us to be restored to glory. But with Isis to help us, great healing miracles are made possible. Once the masculine begins to gain strength and be empowered to express itself in a less cliched and more authentic way, T'Challa, authentic way. Family, community, survival of self, self-mastery, attaining and allowing yourself to reach the heights of the condor and the eagle. Once the masculine begins to gain strength and be empowered to express itself in a less cliched and more authentic way, we gain the wisdom and power of honoring and boundaries. We learn how to respect and be respectful without losing our power or becoming servile. We learn how to serve others from a place of empowerment and peace. And we learn how to cut through manipulations and posturing in the world of relationships straight to the truth of a matter. Masculine and feminine energies can then do what they are ultimately designed to do, which is unite in love to create harmony, bliss, and the peaceful fulfillment of inner wholeness. Wow, that's beautiful. Ritual for healing the divine masculine for men and women. A candle is helpful for this ritual. You may find a space where you can make some noise and not be disturbed or disturb others if possible. Light your candle and then stand with 2 feet hip width apart and firmly planted on the ground, with your arms resting by your sides and your knees just slightly bent. Gently lift and place your right foot down on the ground again, and repeat this lifting and placing of the foot on the left side. Really feel where your feet connect with the ground. Half close your eyes and focus on your candle, continuing to lift and replace your feet on the ground, one side followed by the other side, for several more repetitions until you feel strong awareness of your connection to the ground. Next, lift your arms up above your head, elbows slightly bent, and face your palms toward the sky. Imagine that you can feel the connection of your hands to the sky, and then lower them down by your side. Repeat this several times, gazing at your candle. Raise your hands up to the sky and push your feet into the earth. Keep your awareness on your candle and say, "From the sky I am strong. From the earth I am strong." Then place your hands on your belly, still pushing your feet into the earth, and say, "From my belly I am strong." And finally touch your heart lightly with one hand, allowing the other to remain on your belly, and saying, "From my heart I am strong." Then focus on your heart and say, "I am healed within. My strength and love are balanced within. The divine masculine and divine feminine within me are in perfect healing flow now. So be it." Finish the practice with the incantation below and then extinguish your candle. You can say this invocation to finish the ritual above and use it at any time you need to re-engage with masculine energy in a new and healthier way, whether within yourself when there's a question of boundaries or integrity at hand, or when relating to another and you want to bring a healthy, high vibrational energy to the relationship. Man of power, man of fire. Man who liberates heart's desire. Man within and man without. Man stronger than fear or doubt. Father, warrior, leader, lover, protector, hunter, teacher, brother. Man divine, man of love, man of earth, man of heaven above. Your strength, my strength. Your power, my power. Your love, my love. Integrity, honor, compassion, protection, tenderness, stability, passionate attention. Man divine, man of love, man of the earth, man of heaven above. And beloveds, that is that card. And I am so thankful and so grateful. First and foremost for following spirit in doing this, because it has been very healing for me, and I can feel a lot of things being set in motion within and without, just because of the vibrations that it stirred and created, and some things that it lit a fire to inside of me, so to speak. That's going to do it for this broadcast, for this show, for this video. And beloveds, just be love and be blessed. Honor the many parts of yourself. Never take parts of yourself for granted. Never detach yourself from your thoughts and your feelings. Observe them. Be aware of them. You don't have to let them dictate every single move you make, but be aware of them. And beloveds, work on your resentment. Find the things that you're grateful for. Turn those resentments into gratitude. Get the contrast for the resentment, remorse, and regrets. Whatever contrast is those things, that's what you fight it with. That's what you battle it with. That's what you confront it with. That's what you concentrate on when you are feeling resentful, when you are feeling remorseful, when you are feeling full of regret. When you see others feeling that way, remind them of what they should be grateful for. The chance to get up and do it all again. The chance to get up and keep swinging. The ability to take another breath. That's a gift. And the willingness to take it is also a choice and a gift back. So, beloveds, look deeply into yourselves and let's start using these universal laws to attract what we want to see happen in our world, globally, not just in our personal environment, but for all, for the whole collective of humankind, for animal kind, for the planet itself. Okay. Namaste. I'm sorry. Namaste, beloveds. My voice is just cracking and is all over the place. And okay, it is what it is. So that's everything, beloveds. And thank you for watching. And if you know of someone who can use this video, please pass it. And um, if you subscribe to um, my channel when I do videos, you'll get them. And you'll know without having to follow me on Facebook or anything else. So it is what it is, beloveds. Thank you.